Every few months, a new wave of videos hits YouTube promising the same thing. Move abroad and get paid to do it. Free houses, monthly stipends, cash grants just for showing up. And every time it happens, thousands of Americans start packing their bags before they've read a single line of fine print. Here's what those videos never show you. The retiree who bought the free house and spent her entire savings renovating it. The couple who moved to the island and couldn't get off it when the medical emergency hit. The program that looked perfect on screen and had approved exactly 17 applications in 6 years. The offers are real. The headlines are not. Today, I'm ranking all 7 of the most talked about get paid to move programs. Worst to best, with every visa requirement, every income threshold, and every catch the other videos buried. No sugarcoating, let's get into it. Before we rank these, I need to bust 3 lies, because if you've been watching these videos, you've already been sold at least one of them. Lie 1, they're giving away free money. No country on this list writes a blank check. Every payment is either a renovation subsidy, a tax break, or a population bribe with decade-long strings attached. Lie 2, any American can qualify. Half these offers are legally unavailable to the 65-year-old on Social Security watching right now. I'll flag every barrier. Lie 3, the catch is small. The catch is sometimes isolation that could kill you. Every country today gets an honest assessment. No sugarcoating. Number 7, Switzerland. Let's start at the bottom. And honestly, Switzerland belongs at the bottom. Not because it's a bad country, obviously it isn't, but because this offer is the single most misrepresented thing I've seen circulating in retirement abroad content this year. Here's the headline you've probably seen. The village of Albanen will pay you 25,000 Swiss francs. That's roughly $31,000 at current exchange rates per adult to relocate there, plus 10,000 Swiss francs per child. Sounds extraordinary, right? Now here's everything the headline leaves out. You must be under 45 years old. That eliminates the majority of people watching this video right now. If you're already retired or close to it, Switzerland just closed the door in your face before you finished reading the title. You must commit to staying for a minimum of 10 years. Leave early for any reason, and I mean any reason. Health, family emergency, you just hate Swiss German, and you repay every franc with interest. You must purchase or build a property worth at least 200,000 Swiss francs. That's the entry ticket just to receive the grant. And here's the one that almost nobody mentions. You must already hold a Swiss C permit. Not a tourist visa, not a temporary residence permit, a C permit, which for non-EU citizens takes a minimum of 10 years of prior legal Swiss residency to obtain. Americans cannot walk up to this program from the United States. You would need to move to Switzerland first, live there legally for a decade, and then, assuming you're still under 45, apply for the grant. By 2023, approximately 17 applications had ever been approved. The village has been overwhelmed with foreign inquiries from people who don't qualify and can't qualify. And when you factor in that average Swiss rent runs $1,800 to $2,500 a month, and mandatory health insurance adds another $400 to $600 on top of that, the $31,000 grant doesn't even cover 10 months of basic living costs. For a 65-year-old American on Social Security, this program is completely, totally irrelevant. It's a YouTube headline attached to a real offer that was never designed for you. Verdict: this is not a retirement plan. It's not even available to Americans starting from scratch. Move on. Number 6, Greece. Greece. Beautiful country, genuinely stunning islands, and one of the most misleading offers on this entire list. The headline: the island of Antikythera will give you 500 euros a month, free housing, and free land for 3 years if you relocate there. Here's the update nobody is giving you as of 2026. No families have moved in yet. The homes promised under this program are still under construction due to administrative delays. This offer exists on paper. It does not exist in practice, at least not yet. But let's say the construction finishes tomorrow. Let's look at what you're actually signing up for. Antikythera has between 24 and 40 permanent year-round residents depending on the season. In winter, that number can drop to 15. 15 people on the entire island. The nearest hospital requires a boat to the island of Kythera and then another boat or a flight to Athens. Internet is satellite-based and unreliable when storms roll through. And those storms, they can cut you off completely. And here's the qualifier that eliminates virtually everyone watching this. The program requires a family with at least 3 children. Not 2, not 1, 3. If you're a retired couple or a solo retiree, this program was never aimed at you. The 500 euros a month barely covers food imported from the mainland. The free housing is a house with no confirmed move-in date. And if you're managing anything at all that requires regular medical attention, this island is a medical emergency waiting for a trigger. I always say this and I'll say it again here. Isolation is not freedom when you're 70. A heart attack on Antikythera means waiting for a boat. That's not a catch. That's a life-threatening logistical reality. Verdict: not operational in 2026 and genuinely dangerous for the 55+ audience, even when it eventually is. Number 5, Italy. Now we're getting somewhere. Italy isn't a bad option, but the way it gets sold is almost always wrong, and understanding what's actually valuable here versus what's a trap requires pulling 2 completely different things apart. Thing 1, the €1 home. You've seen it everywhere. Historic properties in Sicily, Sardinia, Calabria, Tuscany, selling for a single euro to attract new residents to depopulating villages. Here's the reality of that €1. Average renovation cost in the 2026 construction market, 50,000 euros on the absolute low end. More realistically, 80,000 euros to 120,000 euros. You must submit architectural plans approved by local heritage boards in Italian. You must post a 5,000 euro guarantee bond that you forfeit if renovations aren't completed within 3 years. You cannot do the work yourself. You're required to use licensed local contractors, which in rural southern Italy means limited availability and premium pricing. And before any of that, before you even get to the €1 purchase, you need Italy's elective residency visa. The 2026 income requirement is 32,000 euros per year in passive income for a single applicant. Many major consulates are applying internal benchmarks even higher than that. If you don't clear that threshold, the €1 house isn't yours to buy. So the €1 home is, for most Americans, a fantasy. A beautiful, photogenic, completely impractical fantasy. But here's where Italy gets genuinely interesting, and almost nobody talks about this correctly. Certain southern regions of Italy, Sicily, Calabria, Sardinia, Campania, Molise, Abruzzo, Puglia, Basilicata, offer a reduced flat tax on foreign-sourced income, including Social Security income, for qualifying residents for up to 10 years. For a retiree bringing in $30,000 a year, that can represent several $1,000s in annual savings. Real money, recurring money, not a one-time renovation subsidy. The €1 home is the wrong reason to move to southern Italy. The tax regime is the right reason, if you can qualify for the visa first. Verdict: the €1 home is a trap for most Americans. The southern flat tax regime is the hidden gem, but you only get to it if you clear the income threshold. Number 4, Spain. Spain is where things start to feel genuinely achievable. And then you read the fine print and realize it's still not simple. But it's closer. Much closer. The headline offer: the village of Ponga in Asturias will pay you 3,000 euros to relocate there. Some Galician villages add 100 euros to 200 euros a month in rent subsidies on top of that. And if you have a baby while living there, another 3,000 euros. Now, before anyone gets too excited about baby bonuses, let's talk about what Asturias actually is. It's green, it's mountainous, it rains constantly. It is emphatically not the Costa del Sol. If you came to Spain for beaches and sunshine, Asturias is going to feel like a very expensive mistake. To live in Spain as an American retiree, the primary pathway now is the non-lucrative visa. Spain's golden visa ended in April 2025. The NLV requires 28,800 euros per year in passive income for a single applicant in 2026. That's 2,400 euros a month. You cannot work remotely on this visa. Not even a little. It's retirement or nothing. There's also a wealth tax to be aware of. If you sold a home in the United States before moving, depending on your net worth, Spain's wealth tax, which kicks in above 700,000 euros in assets, can catch people completely off guard. Get proper tax advice before you move. Now, the citizenship pathway, because this is where Spain becomes genuinely interesting for people willing to commit long term. After 5 years of continuous legal residency, you become eligible for permanent residency. After 10 years, you can apply for Spanish citizenship. Here's the honest version of the dual citizenship question. Spain officially requires non-Ibero-American nationals, that includes Americans, to renounce their previous citizenship when applying for Spanish citizenship. In practice, the United States does not enforce its side of that renunciation, so many Americans end up effectively holding both passports. But I want to be clear, this exists in a legal gray zone. It is not a guaranteed dual citizenship path. Get qualified legal advice before you make any decisions based on keeping both passports. The cost reality in Asturias is genuinely compelling. Rent runs 400 euros to 500 euros a month, with subsidies 200 euros to 300 euros. Groceries and utilities add another 400 euros to 500 euros. Healthcare is free through Spain's public system once you're a registered resident. Total monthly costs, 800 euros to 1,200 euros. On a strong social security check, that math actually works. Verdict, the 3,000 euros is a nice bonus. The real value is the affordable cost of living and a legitimate long-term EU residency pathway. This one is real for the right person. Number 3, Ireland. Ireland. And look, I know what you're thinking. Ireland isn't exactly known as a cheap retirement destination. And you're right, it isn't. So why is it number 3? Because the headline offer isn't really the point. The offer? Up to 84,000 euros in renovation grants to restore a vacant property on one of Ireland's 30 offshore islands. As of 2026, there's also a new 5,000 euro expert advice grant to cover conservation specialists and surveyors. The fine print, quickly. This is a reimbursement grant, not upfront cash. You spend first, they pay back. Typical renovation costs run 100,000 euros to 150,000 euros, more than the grant covers. You must use the property as your primary residence for at least 10 years. The islands are ferry dependent for everything: groceries, doctors, emergencies. Winter storms shut down ferry service entirely. Ireland's cost of living is among the highest in Europe, even on the islands, running 1,200 euros to 1,600 euros a month for a couple. Heating alone, oil or solid fuel, runs 200 euros to 300 euros a month through winter. So why number 3? 2 words: Irish citizenship. Ireland speaks English. After 5 years of legal residency, you can apply for an Irish passport. And an Irish passport doesn't just give you Ireland, it gives you full European Union rights, the common travel area with the UK, the ability to live, work, and retire anywhere across the EU and the UK for the rest of your life. That's not a renovation grant. That's a lifetime of geographic options that money genuinely cannot buy any other way at this price point. For the right person, someone with renovation capital, a genuinely self-sufficient personality, and a tolerance for island isolation, Ireland offers something no other country on this list can match: an English-speaking EU citizenship pathway that doesn't require you to learn a foreign language or navigate a foreign bureaucracy in a foreign tongue. Verdict: extraordinary deal for a very specific kind of person. The grant is secondary. The passport is the prize. Number 2, Mauritius. Mauritius, Indian Ocean, year-round warmth, no capital gains tax, and a visa structure that, managed correctly, can save a retiree thousands of dollars every single year. The offer? A renewable 1-year premium visa with no investment requirement, no age limit, and very favorable tax treatment on foreign income. Now, here's where I need to slow down, because the way this gets described online is genuinely misleading, and I refuse to do that to you. The tax advantage is real, but it is conditional. If you spend fewer than 183 days in Mauritius in a calendar year, you are not a tax resident. Foreign source income, including Social Security, including IRA distributions, is not taxed by Mauritius. That's a genuine benefit. But if you exceed 183 days and you're remitting that foreign income into a Mauritian bank account, you become a tax resident, and that income becomes taxable. The zero tax promise requires you to actively manage your days in country and your banking structure. It is not automatic. It is not passive. It is not something you can ignore and assume is working. The income requirements: $1,500 a month for a single applicant, $3,000 a month for a couple. That second number gets overlooked constantly, and it matters enormously for the married retirees watching this. The cost reality is genuinely attractive. A 1-bedroom apartment in Grand Bay or Tamarine runs $600 to $800 a month. Groceries run $300 to $400. Private healthcare, which you'll want, the public system exists but expats use private clinics, runs $100 to $200 a month. Total monthly, $1,200 to $1,800 for a comfortable life. For a retiree with $30,000 a year in income, managing their residency days carefully, the tax savings can run $3,000 to $5,000 annually. Over a decade, $30,000 to $50,000. That's real money. That's recurring money. What nobody tells you: the Indian Ocean cyclone season runs December through March. The expat community skews heavily French and South African. Americans are a small minority. English is official, but Creole and French dominate actual daily social life. And the flight from the United States is over 20 hours. You are not popping back for Thanksgiving. Verdict: real and genuinely accessible. But the tax-free structure requires active management, not passive assumption. Number 1, Chile. And here's where I'm going to say something that might surprise you. The best get paid to move deal available to American retirees in 2026 doesn't involve a check. It doesn't involve a free house or a renovation grant or a village stipend of any kind. It involves Chile quietly removing the single biggest cost in your retirement, the American cost of living, without asking you to renovate anything, move to an island, or hold a permit you can't get. Chile's retirement visa and passive income visa have no single official income floor. Immigration authorities informally expect $1,000 to $1,500 a month for a single applicant. No age restriction, no investment requirement, no renovation commitment. Dual citizenship: you keep your US passport. And the US-Chile totalization agreement protects your Social Security benefits. Rent in Valdivia or Puerto Varas runs $400 to $600 a month. Groceries for a couple, $300 to $400. Private health insurance runs $150 to $250 a month. Utilities and transport, $150 to $200. Total monthly, $1,000 to $1,450. On a $1,900 Social Security check, that leaves real surplus every month. Here's what you're actually getting paid. Healthcare savings, $5,400 to $12,600 per year. Housing savings, $12,000 per year. Total annual savings, $17,400 to $24,600. Recurring, every single year. Switzerland's one-time $31,000 grant gets matched in under 2 years just from living in Chile. Honest caveats. Spanish fluency is not optional. Earthquakes are a daily reality. Winter in the south is dark and rainy June through August. Visa processing runs 6 to 14 months. Start planning 12 months out minimum. But for any American retiree with $1,000 to $1,500 a month in provable passive income who wants a stable, democratic, developed country with real infrastructure and real hospitals, Chile delivers more real-world value than any headline on this list. Verdict: the best deal on earth that doesn't need a headline. Before we close, here's the 6-question framework I use every time one of these offers crosses my radar, because there will be more of them. There always are. First, ignore the headline number. 84,000 euros in renovation grants means nothing if the renovation costs 120,000 euros to complete. The headline number is marketing. The net number is reality. Second, find the visa requirement before anything else. If you don't qualify for the visa, the offer doesn't exist for you. Full stop. It doesn't matter how beautiful the photos are. Third, ask whether the program is actually operational. Greece's island program has 0 approved families as of 2026. Switzerland's has approved 17 applications in 6 years. Real programs have real people who've completed them. Ask for that evidence. Fourth, calculate the annual net benefit, not the one-time payment. What do you save every year? That's the number that funds your retirement, not what you receive once. Fifth, ask the hospital question. How far is the nearest emergency room? If the answer involves a boat or a ferry or a flight, that's not a minor inconvenience. That's a life or death logistical reality for a retiree. Move on. Sixth, check the citizenship timeline and the fine print. A country that formally requires you to renounce your passport is a fundamentally different deal from one that doesn't. Know exactly what you're agreeing to before you agree to it. Here's what the other channels won't tell you, and I think you already know it by now, having sat through this whole video. The get paid to move industry exists because villages are dying. Governments are desperate. And the people these programs were actually designed to attract are not 65-year-old American retirees on Social Security. They're young families, remote workers with 6-figure incomes, European citizens who don't need a visa to qualify. But hidden inside these headlines, past the gimmicks, past the €1 homes and the Alpine Village checks, there are real opportunities. Chile doesn't write you a check. Mauritius doesn't give you a free house, but both of them do something more valuable than either of those things. They remove the single biggest cost in your retirement, the American cost of living itself. Switzerland's check requires a permit that takes a decade to earn and an age you may have already passed. Greece's island program has approved 0 families as of today. Italy's €1 home needs $100,000 in renovation work before you sleep in it. The countries that quietly make your Social Security check triple in value, without asking you to renovate a crumbling stone house, wait for a boat in a winter storm, or spend a decade earning the right to apply, that's the real escape plan. That's what this channel is actually about. Now, if you've been watching and thinking, okay, but where do I actually go if I want English, affordable healthcare, and a visa I can realistically get? I built exactly that list. 12 English-speaking destinations where Americans can retire comfortably on a Social Security income, full cost breakdowns, real visa requirements, and one island on that list that genuinely surprised me when I ran the numbers. That video is right there. Watch it next.